And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 in what was our pressure run, but at this point is a super Germany. We may, over the next couple parts, try to figure out if we can go into a Central Europe. I could technically press the button and just become Central Europe now, apparently. I'm not sure if I'd want to do that necessarily. There is an argument to say go around collecting more subjects. Because when you press that button, I believe you inherit all your subjects that are the correct culture. So things like Romania, right? We'd probably want Romania, the subject of Romania. So we probably want the Pope to be, or in this case, the Roman Republic to be our subject. We want Piedmont to be our subject. We want Campania, the two Sicilies to be our subject, right? So that when we press that button, we inherit them, right? So Netherlands, Sardinia, Piedmont, Roman Republic. We've got Tuscany already, Switzerland. There's a couple small ones in here. Belgium, for example, that's the Walloon. Your Sardinia. Yeah, so there's a couple places where they're we would probably want to make them subjects. So when we hit Central Europe, we get more territory. So we're maybe not in much of a rush for that sort of expansion. Over here in Africa, we do have a colonial conflict about to happen. We are also trying to colonize the African interior here. Sort of take advantage of the multiculturalism in here, so we can basically take these over. Each one of the groups in here is about 500,000 to about 1 million people. More that we can accept and try and improve their standard of living. Which is kind of the goal that I've set myself, to see how much standard of living we can get. Not necessarily how much GDP, though those two are going to kind of be in relation to each other, right? The higher sort of the GDP per capita you get, assuming it's reasonably distributed amongst the population, the higher the average standard of living will be. It's technically all very concentrated into very few people. It won't really correlate very well. Also, I think the GDP per capita does not include the dividends and salaries to the upper class. So what can end up happening is, yes, you have a high GDP per capita, but either your upper class are foreign, or vice versa, you have a very low one, but that's because your upper class is the foreign to someone else's. Yeah, so we're going to be expanding in Africa here. One thing I want to check before we get too into it, diplomacy-wise, can I think the answer is no. Can I make someone a subject with diplomacy alone? I think the answer is no. At least not without the DLC. Yeah, without the DLC, it doesn't look like I can. Because I was wondering if I could get protectorates on people without having to, invade them for it. Back to Alliance. So, if I do want to take this stuff, or do want to take over these territories, I will have to come in and do protectorates the hard way. Oof. 1,000 plus, or 100 plus infamy. That's not going to be a good thing to do. I'm not really ready to fight the whole world. Could technically go into multilateral alliances for minus 20% infamy gain. But I think that's the only source of good infamy gain left for us to grab without really trying to min-max our leader. I know one of the leader traits is minus 25% infamy generation as well. Okay, so after looking at that, we're working on protectionism, which mostly is going to give us a better advantage on imports. Mercantilism is a malus to imports and a bonus to exports. Protectionism is going to at least be balanced. I know if you have the DLC, there's an argument to saying on mercantilism / protectionism for one of the trade deals. do, one of the diplomacy deals you can do. I don't have that DLC yet, so I don't get that magic trick for diplomacy. I'm also not sure if you can make people protectorates with the thing I'm thinking of. So yeah, we got foreign investments, we got external trade, we got advanced research, we got colonial offices. Obviously for the stuff in Europe, we're going to generate just a little too much infamy to sort of casually do it to most people. Well, the bigger people at least. I might be able to, for example, we could go after Switzerland here, but we'll focus on Africa for a bit. While we're trying to build up the economy and the population. And then I gotta decide what we want to do in the queue, because I don't think that queue is going to stay. And are going to stay full for very long. Got 17 things not being built. I could do more clothes. I think we're only on... We're in clothing 3. The electrification kicks that up, so there's maybe an argument to hold off on doing the electrification of the clothing industry. Yeah. We got central planning coming in. I think once central planning's done, we're going to go back to production techs like the electrical capacitors here, combustion engines. Actually, we'll probably do combustion engines, electrical capacitors, electrical railway. So yeah, let's not do clothing. Clothing is... And that's because when we do that, we're going to start... we're going to rapidly boost the clothing production. Could do food. Grain's a little high. The groceries aren't. Okay. And fish aren't. Usually because I built fish. Could do engines. I suppose the other thing I could do... Actually, let's start doing that. I can do some of the labor-saving PMs that eat transportation, and then build the railways to backfeed it. Oh, and these should be on advanced tactics. Oh, apparently we've inherited some opium plantations somewhere. Yeah, so let's start working through our PMs here, swapping them over to rail transport, building rail. Okay. So we'll let it cycle a week. That should get the transport to update. And we're building West Java. Oh, because I've got... That's, of course, going to be an interesting problem. You know, I can just build it. So for us, it would be 40. So in this case, I'll just go ahead and build 10 there. It's probably not going to be enough because they're on the old. It's not letting me. Yeah. Nor West Java. Apparently, I can see that because that should be someplace I can presumably build it if I can click the button there, or I can see the bottom. Okay, so 8 here. Like 4 there. 3. Yep, again, Central Java. That's a colony that I'm seeing in the list, but I'm not allowed to build in. Gelra. And that's because they're in the market, apparently. Oh, I suppose... no, that doesn't make sense. I was about to go... Oh, I suppose there could be situations where they don't have the tech, but no, they've presumably do. Okay. Let's let that process a bit. Working on... Yeah, we're working on swapping to protectionism. And we got a colonial war, and otherwise the colonies are progressing. We have... What's it called? Malaria prevention, where no one else does for the moment. So our colony should progress faster than everyone else's. We also have max level colonial affairs, which should help with colonizing faster. In the last one, I think we got mandatory schooling, so we're able to go education up to 5. But that hasn't kicked in yet. Look at the defense in depth tech boost. Because honestly, we don't need the Giant Trant bonus here for dealing with the locals. There we go. There's the colonization rate, so that'll speed that up. 26 days each. Nice. Thinking about it, do I have... I do. Let's survey a skyscraper site. There's central planning, so there's the tech I was working on. Over in society, I think that's what we desperately needed. In theory, I could do like elevators or zeppelins. Zeppelins wouldn't be too bad for market access pricing, but I think I'm going to go back to production. Military is another tab where there's some very interesting stuff I could try to go for. I could try to focus landing craft. It's not actively spreading to me. Well, that's a little worrisome that someone else has landing craft. Although I suppose that means I'll get it quicker. Without having to put effort into it. So yeah, we're gonna do combustion engines. I don't think anyone has. Look over here. This 30 production line. No, don't think anyone has combustion engines yet. So if I research it first, I'll have effectively a monopoly on the export market. And we'll do basically what we're doing with telephones, where we are subventioning the export of them to encourage other people to use our telephones and, you know, not make their own. We'll see how well that works. Oh, and we now have central planning, so I should enable central planning. That's that one. There we go. So telephones jumps, but we're building more telephones. And in theory, that's just us raising the price of exports, so less will get exported. In the meantime, we're building more telephone production. We're going to save the last corporation spot for cars, I think. And basically do what we're doing with telephones, but with cars. Well, then air the concerns. We have freedom of speech here in very liberal Germany. Multicultural Germany here. Do I want to get involved here? Can I get anything off of the British? No, they would just be joining to join. I'm not that nice of a friendly helper. I suppose the alternative... Where is the Der conflict? Persia. Persia region. That, there's the Der. Yeah, if that was a coastal area, I might have been trying to buy it off of the British. And yeah, if we can colonize enough, we can basically lock most of the people out of South Africa here. We won't be able to quite do it to the British. Though we're probably going to win on the rush to the British. I think we have a greater core population than they do. Again, this is one where we're not going to be able to get involved. But it's also probably this is Bukharan. This is Bugara, which isn't really something we need to care about. Oh, the British are involved on the other side. Hello, Twitch chat. You're saying, God with a W, damn? Don't know under what circumstances, but, presumably you enjoyed something. Ah, yes, I can see the private queue here has decided it wants Electrical industries. The telephones must be sold, apparently. Okay, the prices come back. Granted, that's probably due to the exports shrinking. If we want to continue to hold that monopoly, we probably want that to continue to be that way. Okay, education up to 5. There's protectionism. Any other laws we want to do? Agriculture we would change after we went on to some sort of socialism. I have multiculturalism, so migration control is fine. And Twitch saying, I didn't want to use a certain word so people tend to spell it differently. Yeah. The good old fudge solution to censorship. Yeah, I know that. You know, I think we got the laws we want. Workers' right actually wouldn't be too bad. It might be a little hard to get past the industrialists. Oh, no one's opposed to women's suffrage. I have a women's suffrage movement. Do. Surprised we didn't get the journal entry for it. Didn't get the journal entry for it. Okay. Well, I don't see any reason not to go on the women's suffrage. We'll do that. No opposition there, so this should be an easy pass. We'll just have them on every time. They're not going to force that on us because, you know, we'd probably just turn around and be like, yeah, you're now a protector of Germany. Okay, always let drive new growth. Yeah. Drew from a tree. What trees do we have with you? They're giving me trade privileges and an obligation for something. We're not paying anymore. And we have investment rights. Oh, we're giving them investment rights for the defense pact. Can I renegotiate this to not have the investment rights? Maybe. We'll try that. No. Suffragists rally. We'll just take the smaller ones because there's no opposition. Fuel moving to us. There's combustion engine. So that'll probably be the industry we build next. Over in production. Let's work on electrical capacitors so we can get that sewing or the textile mill improvement and do some more electrification. Construction-wise, I am... How many urban buildings do we have that would use the construction? Oh, that's going to be this one. So let's say I'm going to have a demand for carriages. Don't you eat engines or automobiles? Yes. 1.2 thousand engines. Ah, compression ignition is the one that's got the PM I'm thinking of. Okay. So there's another tech we're going to want to double the yield from this building. So 10 of these is 300. We want about 4 times that, so we want about 40 of these. Okay. Plus, we're going to export some, so we'll just crank 40 of these. Let's reward the place with the most peasants. Bohemia. 40 car factories in Bohemia, please. And these take up 3 infrastructure each, so 40 is going to take about 120 infrastructure, so we need to give you a couple of railroads as well. My railways provide 25 infrastructure, so we're going to need at least provide Bohemia with at least 4. Let's go and give them 5. There we go. And then building-wise, car manufacturer, subsidize, please. We need the good in the market before we can set our trade policy on it. So until they get built. Well, if you think of any questions while watching, feel free to ask them. I try to look over at chat, but I'm maybe not the best at looking at chat and playing the game at the same time. Playwright. There's other reasons to take some of the other stuff, but we're just gonna take the success chance here. And I probably need to raise my expenditures because my gold reserve is going up. Let's just... I'm fully on steel, right? Yeah. Let's try to employ those peasants. Granted, this is only going to be 23,000 peasants being employed, but new jobs. Higher up already? And is that just a sign I need more construction sectors? Yeah, it's probably a sign I need more construction sectors. Go back down to look at the colonization. Don't think we... well, maybe we have for some states. No. No states completed yet. Landing craft is nice. So now we can be a bit more aggressive with warfare. Because we can go land various places. Oh, car factories are almost done. Actually, are any of the car factories done? No, it looks like it isn't. Yeah. First one's about to finish. My guess is next week. So I'll have to put in the queue while we're waiting for those to come into effect. Actually, let's, because most of the railways are done, we can turn the next labor-saving PM on buildings. Oh, oil rig's got a buff. The engine one. We'll do you. Swap you onto labor saving and turn you onto the newer one. And then let's hit coal as well. And then we're gonna cycle a week. Pause. And then I'm gonna try to meet the demand that we've just made for transport. You need 880 transport, so that is 22 of those based on the current production figures. You need 19 there. Oh, and West Java now is going to let me build things. Cool. And it desperately needs some as well. I think technically there's... What, it's giving prediction. Theirs is worth 20. We're not going to build them quite that many. We're going to build them enough that if they were on our PM, it would be enough. Yeah, that's probably enough. 13... 10... 6... 5 there. Let's say 5 there. 4... 4... 3... 8... 3 there. 2, 2... 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, well, that queue worked through. The levies. Old mine single light, apparently. Oh, and I probably have cars now. Let's come in and deal with our trade policy in cars, which is we're going to do a subvention for exports. And we do have these subsidized, so given time, they should hire up to full. And they're quite profitable right now. What's your traditionalist? Yeah, you can say what he wants. I was hoping to see that he maybe be something like a communist, something that'd be interesting to bring into leadership, but he wasn't, so... So election-wise, we have 2 parties, the SPD and the Conservatives. Bourgeoisie fears reform against the revolution. And obviously, we kind of want the SPD to win, because they represent the trade union, our social democratic trade union. Skyscraper completed. Lay the foundations. So Brandenburg's gonna get 10% construction sector throughput bonus until we build the skyscraper. I believe how that works. I am gonna build a skyscraper. In theory, you could be exploiting that just to keep it to hang around, but no, I'll build a skyscraper. Because 10% construction bonus is pretty decent, especially in this smaller country. Oh, pretty healthy demand for engines. Maybe I should be building engines next. Everything we're upgrading right now is pretty engine heavy. How's the car price looking? Well, not enough that I want to swap city PMs over to it, the urban center PMs over to it. Government. I could reform the government, which would bring in the Social Democrat Petite Bourgeoisie. You know, we'll do that. Everyone except for the Conservatives are in government. And that means, in theory, we could probably get away old age pensions and regulatory bodies passed really easily. Because you don't have an opinion on it. The Conservatives do, but the Conservatives aren't in government. Whereas everyone else in government is for it. Cool. Probably what we're putting in the queue next is going to be the engines. Tech-wise, we're probably going to try to unlock the car factory. Okay, it's those guys. It's colonial fight. We do actually have. Let's say we have the 5th German Army, which is actually sub-Saharan, but we'll send the 5th German Army over to deal with the uprising. Yeah, so probably after electrical passage, we'll sneak over here, grab corporate government for that corporation, so I can make the car company. Looks like some women's suffrage will pass soon. Against France. You want to make them a protectorate. Arguably, I don't want them. I want you making them protectorate. They won't give me anything to come save them, though. Though we'd have Britain on our side, so this wouldn't necessarily be a bad fight to join in. I was also going to be looking, this would be a good potential time to attack France. Or say the Low Countries. Oh, if I do that, I'd be at war with America. And honestly, if I come join one side, America's going to join the other. Yeah, we'll just watch this. The UK got this. Be a short colonial war, and then once that's done, I'll reevaluate whether or not I want to set up more colonies to start growing. There's bolt action rifle. We'll go ahead and enable that. Guns. There's electrical capacitors. Okay, so that means we're going to want to build more electricity shortly. And then, yeah, corporate governance for the car company. And we're going to, for the electricity, we swap electric sewing machines on. We let it cycle for a week. And much like we were doing with transport earlier, for the transportation labor saving PMs, we're going to do electricity for PM we just turned on. We do have the second PM on for our power plant, so it's about 50 each. So we'll want 3, I'll say 4 there. Oops, that's 2, that's up to 3. Okay. Put some electricity in the queue to handle the electrification of clothes. And yeah, that dropped the price for clothes quite a bit, so we probably don't need more clothes. Let's go ahead and we will... Oh, actually, 0 subsidies on clothing exports. I'm already subventing... Yes, already subventing the electric clothes. Supporting the American worker, sure. We're pro-trade union. Ending the slave trade. I can get colonial growth speed. Sure. We have a duty to end slavery wherever our power reaches. And stable supply of power. We'll get the tech spread towards railways. And there's women's suffrage. Deeds, not words. It's the achievement associated with that. Workers' rights or social security. We'll do workers' rights. So we're going to go regulatory bodies. Max regulatory bodies, I believe, reduces the working conditions mortality rate to 0. And then I was going to reevaluate colony establishment. Okay, we got a new place we can start establishing, so we'll start. I think it's engines we're going to want to build more of. Yeah, just a deficit of about 5k engines. Orderly protest, please. So as the alternative, how much is electrification going to affect the engines? Or I suppose I could actually push down into combustion ignition. Don't give me diesel engines. Yeah, I might actually do that. Be a little bit expensive in time, but that's probably fine. I think we've got the oil. Well, got the ability to import the oil. Multinational alliances. Okay, so now I can be allied to multiple people at once. Who am I allied to right now? I think it's just Russia. Maybe might be an argument to try to get an alliance with a Great Britain. So, can I renegotiate this treaty so it doesn't have defensive pact, but instead has alliance? Can I get one without the investment rights? Alright, so the most you want for money transfer is going to be 49 worth. Trying to find like a good number. 5,000 is getting us that. 6,000. 8,000? Okay. That's getting them a 97% chance to accept. We'll send that proposal. Okay. So now we've got an actual alliance with the British. Not just a defensive one. Netherlands! They want a defensive pact. I'm gonna tell them no. Because honestly, the last time I get in the defensive pact, it went terribly. In fact, I'm half surprised they're even willing to ask for one after how it went last time. Could build more cars. I think we're gonna do the double PM skip on the engines. Go straight to electric or straight to petrol, diesel engines. Yeah, I can go with building 22 paper makers. Where's the most profitable place to put these? Saxony. Yeah, we'll do like 10 Saxony, 10 Westphalia, and like 2 in Schleswig, yeah. Skyscrapers are touching the sky. We're probably good to do... Oh, and that's a PM I can change up. Skyscrapers. Normally it gives you 25% government administrative building throughput. Probably want extra trade capacity and trade advantage, because I don't need the bureaucracy, as you can tell right now. So we'll go trade capacity. And then let's put more labor-saving PMs on. Yeah, we'll just swap all the mines over to rail transport. Which initially drives down the GDP because a lot of them are far less profitable under that. Then we cycle a week to make sure we've got up-to-date balance reports here. Oops. 15, 10... Okay, and we got another border conflict? Yeah. Once again, rally the German 5th Army. I think as soon as Rocketory Bodies is done, we'll just go ahead and set it to go to max. And then probably start working on old age pensions. I tend to find old age pensions is better than wage subsidies, at least until you have run out of peasants and unemployed to de-peasant with. Oh dear. The Prebine epidemic. Silkworm disease. Okay. So the silk plantations are going to be bad. We got the bureaucracy, we can cut the red tape. We might have one of the colonies are done. No, not quite. You can't start stating a colony until it has completely colonized yet. Oh, looks like we're going to have a colonial conflict immediately following our colonial conflict. Photographs of Germany. I don't need legitimacy prestige. No, that's okay. Where's the other conflict we're going to have? Papau. Oh, Indonesia. Okay. Because Tuscany has colonies over there. Oh, I have colonies over there. That makes sense. Yeah. So as soon as the in fact, actually, I'll go ahead and mobilize the 6th Army here just to stall for a bit. Okay, we finish the other one, so you go run over and help, please. Smoke and cabaret. I don't really need the authority, I suppose. I can give that up. Okay. I don't have the car company yet. That's why I'm holding off building a bunch of cars. And all the demand is mostly export. Got demand for fine art. Where's the telephones? Yeah, the telephones are pretty down there. On the telephone market, world market, who is... I assume I'm still the only supplier. Yeah, I am still the only supplier. Whereas, quite a bit of importers, to be fair. So I suppose that's as low as it is because we're not having great trade center capacity to export. That's good. Okay. So yeah, I think we'll do some more fine art. Could easily go with another... What? 10 is 80. So 480 is about 60 art academies. That's where there's the most peasants. We'll do... We'll do a smattering of 60, so. Export some fine German art. Did any of our forces actually get into position in time? Looks like no. Aid for the silkworm farmers. Sure. Oh, and I passed my law. Okay, workplace safety. Max, please. In the meantime, Social Security, old age pensions. 73% support for this. This should pass really quickly. Okay, army arrived in time to prevent complete defeat. You want us to embargo the French? I could do it. I don't really want to, but I could do it. Empty pockets. Sure. Domestic researcher from another nation. And we need to deploy it. Okay. Researching past research. So I'm being encouraged to go do a particular technology. And we're getting tech advantage towards it. Okay. Do I want to drop taxes? I suppose I can drop some taxes. Let's encourage agriculture industry in 75% states affected by it. Is that a provincial modifier I can see? That's not a nice one. I think we're only affected in here right now. So I'll pay the 100 authority to deal with that. it's 1 year for discovering, okay. Where can I build silk plantations? Presumably they're all affected. There's corporate governance, that's good. Silk plantations. Is it Africa? No, I randomly control... Wait, no. Of course I can build it over there. That makes sense. I want to see domestic, please. Transvaal, Moldova, Venetia. Okay, so those 4. That might actually make it a little bit hard, because I only have enough authority to do it in 2. 3. Okay, here we're going to go ahead and grab the car maker. German motor. Is there another car maker, or is that the only one? That is the only one we have access to. Don't really care about information speed, but we'll take it. I really want it for the construction and throughput bonuses. Don't forget, make sure we've got trade rights. Just looking in the trading capacity. You don't have it. You do get this one. Okay, and then what I was going to do, we just did corporate governance to get that corporation. I think there's technically one more in here. Go for it right now. I'm going to do it pretty hard ahead of time. Attempt to do very hard ahead of time to get compression ignition. What was the other one? It was pasteurization. It was giving me a tech for, or giving me push for. I don't actually really want to do that. Refrigerated storage is not very strong. Yeah, no, we're going to push for compression ignition. We'll not get any techs in for 5 years as a side effect, but I think that will be reasonably strong. To be fair, for a little while, I think it's going to mostly be... For that corporation, it's mostly going to be them buying up all the car factories, because we have a bunch of car factories for them to buy. Yeah, they would have got 13. Yeah, they're going to be buying like the tickets. And they're also nicely an engine factory, so that'll help with our engine shortage. Colonization rates over there. Apparently, coal demand is up. Interesting that the grain price is up. Probably not worth dealing with that, because probably when I deal with that, ideally in nitrogen vegetation. Oh, I want to put it in the queue. So Tuscany would give me something. I could ask for war goals. Foreign obligation. Sardinia, Piedmont, on the other hand, that might also be willing to give me stuff. Though technically, Tuscany is my subject, aren't they? Yes. And they're only able to get into this war because I haven't reduced them to being a puppet. I could just reduce them to being a puppet. Technically doesn't remove them from the war. Of course, I can't side against my puppet. Okay, so I can come in here and just ask for a war goal of my choice. That would be a lot of infamy. Be less than 100. Yep. So we'll ask. Should be granted. There we go. And then the magic trick here. Ooh, they want to transfer states. Do I give them one part of my colony? Don't really want to. Though I don't think they're going to get involved. I think we're good just to inform Sardinia Piedmont they're no longer a independent country. Oh, that might have changed. No, it's still transfer states. Still think this is where we can probably win without help. You guys have some good supplies, so they can hold better. And the same with these guys. Well, these guys are actually nice, so these guys attack better. So maybe a good way to think about it. We're outnumbered because the Americans are involved. Okay, I've got no... Tuscany's targeting CCTV for Italian leadership. Okay. I don't think that'll necessarily work for them, but... Yeah, so I think if I just hold long enough, the Americans will go home. How's our fleet looking? Let's grab another admiral. And we'll assign you to screw with the Netherlands trade. And let's give you some conscripts. Because that's the front that's going to be hot for the wrong reasons. Actually, just going to give you conscripts. Give the other ones some conscripts as well. Oh. We can't build those anymore. That makes sense. some reason we can't build, you know, the Dutch infrastructure when we're on the road to war with the Dutch. That makes sense. Yeah, I probably want to make some more car factories. Urban, automotive. Build like another 40 car factories. We'll need something more than just that. Maybe make some ammunition. Yeah, we'll make like 10 ammunition makers. And some engines, because it looks like engines look to be pretty pricey. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do like 20 of these. Oh, that gave us a little bit of a queue. Leaving plenty of labor. Uses must end, yeah. Okay. Well, we have our guys on defensive. So our guys should mostly be taking advantage of good old trench infantry's better defensive capacity. Whereas the enemy up here needs to attack. Or I will simply just eviscerate the poor Dutch economy. Which I think is how this is going to end. I think the Dutch, well, the Americans are going to go home because they're going to get bored. Or, well, they're going to get fed up with the fact that we're defensively murdering them all. The Dutch economy is going to get murked because we're going to be interdicting their trade. And then we'll probably run down the Italians. That at least be the plan. Probably should have put the save in before the war started, but this is probably a good place to put a part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to pick up with how this war goes. I may even go ahead and slow it down a little bit for this upcoming war. Not play it on speed 5. Just so I can pay attention and make sure we don't have any naval landings, because that's how I'd get ruffled in here, I think. I think we've got enough manpower, especially the conscripts forming up, to deal with all the fronts. At least in the old world. Don't know if any have mobilized in the colonies. Looks like it not. Yeah, New Guinea. I'm not too worried about New Guinea being occupied. It's going to get wrecked, but I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, if you're watching YouTube, they'll be put up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a moment just to take off my sweater, and then we'll be right back to recording. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.